Like, I called my husband in a panic and I said, babe, like, I don't know what to do. I was having like a panic attack over. I did crave In-N-Out a couple of times and it was weird. It was like really.
I can be on your brain, on your mind.
Hi, my health enthusiasts. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name's Ivy, and I'm so glad that you're here. Let me get my phone. Okay, today we're talking about pregnancy diet, and I get this question a lot, and this is gonna be a little bit probably confusing for some of you. It was confusing for me when I got pregnant. My next pregnancy, I will definitely do things much different. Now that I know, and now that I've gone through it and know what to experience and what my body's gonna go through. For most of you, you know that we weren't planning on getting pregnant. It was an accident. And so because of that, I did not have the time or I didn't really get to prepare for how to eat for my body. A super quick backstory. I had Crohn's disease, or have Crohn's disease, and that's what brought me to eating a high fruit diet almost 4 years ago now. And so it wasn't necessarily vegan versus non-vegan. Oh, my little monkey. Ooh, is he gonna wake up? I miss her when she sleeps. I like it when she wakes up. Anyways, it brought me to the all fruit diet, and I never found so much healing than when I did that. The only other time that I found really good healing was with juicing. However, you can't juice for the rest of your life. You cannot juice, every meal. And so I was really missing that component of a way to eat that's really gonna help me. And so coming to high fruit, little fat, and high natural healthy carbs was what really healed me. So with that said, when I got pregnant, there's a lot of information out there as far as what pregnant women should eat. Anything you look on Pinterest, and I'm sure if you are pregnant or expecting and you've looked at these on Pinterest, I'm sure you've seen them. It tells you like what to eat and the breakdown. It's really confusing, and there's not a ton of information out there for women that are trying to stay plant-based and or vegan and be pregnant. So I was getting information from my midwives, and as well as just looking stuff up. Even all the books, it was a little bit confusing. I will say there's this one book called The Healthy Pregnancy, I think. I'll try to put a picture of it. I'll find it online and put a picture of it here. That was probably the most helpful as far as diet advice, and gave a lot of plant-based options, which I found that more helpful than any of the stuff online. The really cool thing about staying plant-based when you're pregnant is that a lot of the things that you can't eat while pregnant, it doesn't even affect you. So like lunch meat, shellfish, soft cheeses, all of those things, it's like, well, you're already not eating them, so it's totally fine. Yeah, with that said, it was really tough, and I'm just gonna be a completely disclaimer because this it doesn't even just make sense, but you know what I'm saying, okay? This channel is called Pretty Balanced for a reason, and it's my journey through eating and healing my body and how I feel. And I've gone through different times and different waves of eating, and I just want to be real with you guys. And of course, and I've always said, when I first went high fruit, and I went high fruit for healing, I said, if I want a burger at any point, like, I'm gonna go do that. It's not this like all or nothing thing. And I think it's really important, pregnancy or not, to be realistic with yourself. And I know that's really tough because there's so many vegan activists out there, and I'm with you. Like, it's definitely better. It's better for the planet. It's better for your body for sure. But I feel like there's a lot of people, especially women, who try to do it and they feel like they fail, and they give up, or they go to a barbecue, or they go to a friend's house, and that's all they have, and they don't know what to do, and so they eat it, and then they all of a sudden are like, okay, I'm not vegan, I can't do this anymore, or I'm not plant-based. And I feel like there's a huge disconnect with that. So I think a more realistic approach is do plant-based, do it as much as possible, and eat really well, and you're less likely to ever want those things, which was the case for me. So with that said, about week I would say 9. I was on a photo shoot. We hadn't announced it yet. I was doing a photo shoot for a client that I had worked for a lot. And so I was working with regular people that I work with. The stylist was a good friend of mine. The makeup artist was an amazing friend of mine. The photographer is an amazing good friend of mine. So these are people that I love. And some of them knew I was pregnant. Some of them did not know I was pregnant. The client, it was a shoe company, they did not know I was pregnant. So I was trying to just not say anything. I didn't want them to think that I couldn't do my job or whatever. With this said, this is week 9. I'm still working out. I'm still running like crazy. And I felt a crazy drop in my blood sugar. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I just felt awful. I knew I was pregnant. I just felt terrible. So I got home and I had this crazy craving for salmon and egg yolks. It was so weird. I hadn't wanted that in 3.5 years, and it was so strong. Like, I called my husband in a panic and I said, babe, like, I don't know what to do. I was having like a panic attack over getting egg yolks in my body. It was so strange, and I had no idea where it came from. And that and string cheese, it was so weird. It was literally so weird. I have not wanted any of those things for 3 years. And called my husband, literally crying. I was like, I don't know if I can drive, like something's wrong with my blood sugar, something's going on, I'm so worried. And I get home. I get home and he brings home a carton of eggs and I eat them. And mind you, a week before this, I had bought a fresh thing of salmon at the store. I haven't bought salmon in 4 years. And my husband was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, I thought I'd make this for you. And he's like, huh? I have no idea why I did that. So yeah, so I get home, I eat a piece of string cheese, which is my husband's. I don't eat cheese, and started to feel better, started to calm down, and then I just wanted egg yolks. So my husband came home and made eggs, and I felt really good. The next day, I get a call from my midwife going over my blood work, and she said, your vitamin D levels are dangerously low. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, you guys know that I am a sun goddess. Like, I worship the sun. I sit in the sun. I need it. I crave it. When I'm getting cranky or upset or emotional, my husband's like, tomorrow you're shutting your phone off and you're gonna sit outside in the sun with your books. Like, my husband like plants me out there almost as punishment, if you will. Not punishment, but he knows what I need, I guess. But yeah, so she said, your vitamin D levels are really low. And I'm like, how is that possible? I spend so much time in the sun. She said, you know, you're not absorbing it. And sure enough, the 3 highest things for vitamin D is salmon, egg yolks, and mozzarella cheese, or cheese in general. So bizarre. So I think my body naturally was craving those things because those are what I knew from my past. Ways to get vitamin D, and I think it just naturally was craving that. And if I had known what I know now, I probably would have picked, you know, plant-based sources and taken magnesium right away, but I didn't know at the time. So why I'm saying this to you is because I want you to do what's best for your body. Like, if I would have went too much longer without giving my body with what I knew at the time was high in vitamin D, I would have had a much worse pregnancy. And if you think this is you, look up the side effects of a baby who has low vitamin D. It is scary. It made me like really upset when I saw it. So, and my midwife stressed it. She's like, you're dangerously low. Like, you need to be taking 10,000 IUs. Most vitamin D capsules are 1,000 IUs. She put me on 10,000 IUs. So yeah, it was really, really low. And it's no wonder like I wasn't super depressed, or I don't know, it's just really crazy that it was that low, and who knows for how long. So with that said, in the beginning of my pregnancy, I did have eggs and a little bit of salmon. I will say that there was 2 weeks where I went off of my vitamin D. I just wasn't taking it. I had traveled to Illinois, and which is kind of out of my routine, and I didn't take it. And sure enough, I broke my foot, which if you don't have enough vitamin D, the baby can pull all of your calcium from your bones, and then you don't have strong bones anymore. So I was definitely having absorption issues, which Crohn's disease is definitely known to do that. So I started taking my magnesium and eating really well. The rest of my diet, though, was still 90% raw fruits and vegetables. And in the beginning of my pregnancy, I was really sick, which most of you probably felt that way. And if you are, and all you can get down as, say, a bagel or cereal, like, it's okay. And I beat myself up a lot in the beginning because I was so bummed, but it does get better, and you will have an opportunity to eat way better as soon as you get past that first part, if that's you. But the rest of my diet was filled with lentils. I was eating lentil soup like crazy. Lentil soup's one of the best things. I was eating cereal. I definitely kept, even with a little bit of the egg yolks I was eating in the beginning, I kept keeping it pretty much the high carb, low fat, and that's what works best for my body. I did add in more protein during my pregnancy. That was not something that I did before. I was not a big protein person. I would make protein cookies and those kinds of things, but that was more because I was using the protein powder as kind of like a flavor and a flour, if that makes sense. So it wasn't necessarily that I was trying to get protein in. But during my pregnancy, I did find, especially for my blood sugar, that I felt a lot better if I would have protein. I was still doing gym classes, so when I would do them, I would take a protein shake, which if you guys saw my video of my weight loss or pregnancy weight gain hacks and stuff, if you saw that, you saw the protein shake that I showed you. I carried that every time I went to the gym just so I had it. There was a couple times in the gym where I would do classes back to back if I felt good, and I would have to eat an apple in between or then have my protein shake right after, and that really helped me. It is a vegan protein shake, so there's that. But yeah, the rest of my diet was my normal diet. I didn't crave as much fruit as I did prior to pregnancy, but obviously having the baby now, I'm 11 days out from having the baby. Is that what you say? 11 days postpartum. I'm craving my fruit again. Like that like, it was weird. It was like the second she was born, I just wanted fruit again. So that was really weird. Something else, and I know I'm probably gonna get super attacked for this, but again, my channel is called Pretty Bounce for a reason. I did crave, this is like really terrible, but we're gonna be honest here. I did crave In-N-Out a couple of times, and it was weird. It was like really strong, and my midwife did warn me that my iron, that I would really start craving iron. Now, the weird thing is I was also craving spinach. Like, I could stuff handfuls of spinach into my mouth and like just eat it and be so satisfied. I was like, I couldn't get enough. It was super weird, and I never put spinach in my salads before. I'd put kale and lettuce, but never spinach. It goes bad so fast, so I don't usually buy it. Anyways, but yeah, so I totally did, and my baby's perfectly healthy, and my GI tract was great, and I don't know about my weight loss or weight gain right now because I haven't been on the scale. We went back to the midwife the day after she was born. I super wish that I would have got on the scale, but I almost gave birth in the car, so like there was no time for all of that. But I have no idea what my final weigh-in was, which is kind of a bummer, just because I was curious. It was 18 pounds. Hi, husband. Hi, baby daddy. Had a little intermission. Had a great hubby. Okay, so let me get back to my notes here. Yeah, so I did have, I don't know what I was saying last. I did have In-N-Out a few times, but the rest of my diet, I would say 99% of my pregnancy, I was eating the way that I always have. Now, with that said, in the beginning, I definitely didn't feel like as much fruit. I like could not stomach a salad. I could not stomach a green juice. I was working at a healing center for a little while, and I actually threw up a green juice in the car on the way there one time in the beginning of my pregnancy. I just couldn't do it. It was so weird. All those things that I love, it was really weird. So yeah, so that happened. But the second trimester, I started to feel a lot better, and I was able to start having asparagus and sweet potatoes. Potatoes, definitely potatoes, were the #1 thing that I ate my whole pregnancy. I just did, and a lot of people freak out about fat, like getting in the right amount of fat when you're pregnant. And if you are eating natural foods, you're gonna get enough fat, right? Rarely does anyone go an entire day without fat or some sort of little bit of processed food. And so as long as I, you know, chose not to pour oil all over my food or pick up a super fatty baked good or something like that, I was fine. I was getting my fats in. I was trying to implement chia a little bit more into my diet and flax seeds, just to keep my GI moving, because that's really important when you're pregnant. But yeah, I just I just try to not do it. Now there's this really good vegan butter. I don't even know the brand, but it's I get the soy-free one. It's in a red container. I was eating that a lot more. I was putting it on my potatoes and it was so satisfying to me. Where before I wasn't doing it. Even now I probably wouldn't do it because it just doesn't sound as good, but when I was pregnant it was like everything. But yeah, I would make my potatoes. If you've seen any of my what I eat in a day, I would make my potatoes like normal. I ate fruit. I ate a lot of soup, a lot of soup. For whatever reason, when I was pregnant, that made me feel really good. When I was craving sweet, I would eat my Lennon Larry's cookies, or Lenny and Larry's, whatever they're called. You guys know. I'll put their picture right there. Not sponsored. I would eat those. One, those really helped my digestion, and two, they would keep my blood sugar stable, I felt like. Are they the best thing? No, absolutely not. But when you're pregnant, you've got a lot going on, and I don't know, when I felt like I wanted something bad, if you will, or cheat-like, I would eat those for sure. I will say during my pregnancy, I felt like I craved bad food less, if that makes sense. Not that I really craved bad food before, but I would definitely enjoy, you know, making like healthy ice cream or healthy brownies with chocolate chips on them, or chocolate, or whatever. I would definitely enjoy those things, and I didn't really want it when I was pregnant. Like, I definitely craved salty things more, and I think that's why potatoes and like lentil soup was so satisfying to me. So I ate a lot of that. I would make baked potatoes. I would boil potatoes or bake it, and then I would pour a can of soup over it. Like, that was everything. So I ate that a lot. I know there's a lot of women who have to watch their sugars when they're pregnant. I was worried about that at one point, if you guys watched my older video. And I think it was just, one, I ate a bunch of dates before going to my gestational test. Bad idea. And two, everything they tell you about pregnancy, even the Bradley method class that we took, they gave us this list of all these things to eat, and she was like, you need to be having 3 eggs a day. And so it just really messed with me. It messed with what I knew about my body. It messed with how I knew to eat for me. And that was a little bit of a bummer. I wish I would have stayed a little bit more connected to my intuition during that time. And I don't really know the difference because I had this beautiful, healthy baby girl. I had the most amazing birth. I feel really good. I don't know what my weight is right now. I don't know where I'm at, but I feel really good. I have so much love and respect for my body, so it's hard to say if I wouldn't have added those things, if I would have felt the same. But yeah, with that said, this video is kind of all over the place. With that said, will I continue to add in those things? No, definitely not having dairy, because I don't want dairy anywhere near her digestive tract. I didn't have a lot when I was pregnant, but there's a couple times that I had, like I said, cheese, or I had like ice cream a few times. But even then, there's so many good vegan ice creams that, you know, I would have those instead. But if I was at a friend's or something, I would have a couple bites of regular ice cream. No, definitely not doing that. I don't, my cravings for the high vitamin D foods are gone. So yeah, definitely not having dairy. Will I have like fish? Maybe, if I feel like I need it. But right now, I'm back to eating exactly the way that I was prior to pregnancy, which is potatoes and fruit. I just had a snack of a huge mango and half of a watermelon. For breakfast, I had an enormous acai bowl. Like, I refilled it like 3 different times, not even kidding. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I definitely post all my food on there, so I think that's more of a realistic depiction of what I eat in a day, because I'm always posting it on there. Definitely eating my little like makeshift pizzas, which if you guys watch any of my What I Eat in a Days, you've seen those. Yeah, I'm back to pretty much eating what I love and what I loved before. So because of that, it's not making me want those things. Like my husband we went to the In-N-Out drive-thru yesterday for my mother-in-law and for him. And I was feeding the baby in the back, and I just like, I had no desire. It's so weird. The only thing we keep joking about is that this sweet little baby is half of him. And so, you know, if you guys watch my videos, he loves me. He is a grill master. He loves bacon and cigars and beer. I mean, he is as manly as it gets. So we joke that that craving was from his side and his side coming through. So I don't know, whatever it is, I'm not too sure. But also with this said, I want to be super transparent that I am plant-based, and I think plant-based is important regardless of if you have a steak on the weekends or a piece of chicken here and there, whatever. Plant-based is so important. Like, I've always been about choose the foods that heal you. Choose the foods that are going to give you life. Choose the foods that are going to give you vibrancy. Choose the foods that are going to make you a really good mom and a really good wife. Choose the foods that are going to give you the energy to love on your sweet little bundle of joy, whatever that is. For most people, I can probably tell you, having a smoothie with 3 bananas and tons of spinach and kale and blueberries is gonna make you feel really, really good versus, you know, having a low carb boiled egg or something in the morning. Like, you want living foods. That's what you want. Our body thrives off of that. And one of the best scenarios I ever heard was if you put a apple into the ground, right, and you bury it and you put it into the ground, give it water, you're gonna get an apple tree, right, ideally. If you put applesauce, cooked, broken down, preserved applesauce into the ground, you get nothing. And same thing, you put a steak into the ground, it's just dying flesh. The only thing you're probably gonna get is, I think, maggots at some point. So there's that. And I think that was really cool. It was really cool to wrap my head around. And so I encourage you guys, if you're pregnant, and I hope this was helpful. If you guys have questions on this, please write it below and that will help me. Maybe I'll do a part 2 about like what I ate during pregnancy. But yeah, I wanted to go over, let me just look at my notes really quick. In the very beginning of my pregnancy, I took Bentonite clay powder. I have no idea if this is safe. The company that I buy it from told me that it was on the phone. I did some research as far as taking it when pregnant, and it was controversial, of course, like most of that stuff. Some of it said it's super high in lead, so be careful. And others said that it helps with morning sickness. The interesting thing about it is I was taking it when I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant, and I was feeling really good. I probably felt the best I'd felt in a year. I was feeling amazing. And I didn't have morning sickness, and it wasn't until I stopped taking it that my morning sickness came on really strong. So there is something to be said for it pulling toxins from your liver, which then helps you with the morning sickness. Was that it? I don't know, but I did continue to take it about until things started getting better, and it definitely helped. Something else I want to talk about, my iron levels were normal in the beginning of my pregnancy, which was really cool. I did crave beans in the beginning as well, and that could have been me reaching for that iron. Yeah, and then cereal. I loved cereal in the beginning. The crunch, it was easy to digest. I really liked it. So I kind of replaced the amount of fruit I was eating with cereal. Is it processed? Yeah. You know, is it the best thing? No. But when you're that sick, it's like, ugh. I will be totally honest too. I was on a shoot in San Diego, and I was in a hotel, and I had got up to go to the continental breakfast. I actually got up to go to the gym first, which the first day of the shoot, I went to the gym, ran my normal 5 miles, and I was 4 months pregnant. Ran my normal 5 miles, felt okay. Second day, woke up super nauseous, super sick. Felt terrible. It was like 4 in the morning. I was trying to go to the gym, couldn't go. Go down to the continental breakfast, okay? I made this beautiful bowl of oatmeal with like dried fruit in it, and like fresh banana, and like fresh blueberries. And like 10 minutes later, I felt nauseous, and I was like, I can't freaking eat this. Like, I cannot eat this. I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna be late to my shoot. I'm gonna be all gross and bloated from vomiting. And so the next thing, I was sending my dad a photo of my beautiful bowl of oatmeal, healthy pregnancy. And the next photo, he's like, you don't really like that right now. Yeah, and then the next photo I sent back to him was a huge bowl of Fruit Loops. I haven't had Fruit Loops in probably 10 years at least, and I devoured like 3 or 4 bowls. I'm not even kidding you, honest. 3 or 4 bowls of Fruit Loops. So sometimes you just have to get through. Am I encouraging that? No, but I don't want you to feel guilty or bad. Just on the days you do feel good, you know, eat the right stuff. Like, don't make excuses on those days. And that's what I did. The days I felt amazing, I went to the gym every single day. I didn't just pull the pregnancy card. You know, I went to the gym because that made me feel my best, and it made my pregnancy go well, and it made me enjoy it, and, you know, be able to enjoy my husband during pregnancy. There's a lot of women that look miserable and just look exhausted, and I didn't want that. I really wanted to enjoy the process, and I did. I totally enjoyed it. So whatever, if you gotta eat 4 bowls of Fruit Loops, just do what you have to do and get through, and then the next day when you feel better, do better. Like, it's 1 meal at a time. What I always say, pregnant or not, it's 1 meal at a time. It's 1 decision at a time. Like, don't get overwhelmed. Just make the best decision you can at the moment. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. I feel like I totally rambled on. Again, we're tired. We are 11 days out. Yeah, 11 days. My baby's 11 days old. I do want to show you guys really quick. We'll show you where we're at right now. Cool. This is Belly. This is really not important, but I know a lot of you guys are asking. So Belly feels really, really, really good. I haven't been like restricting my diet or anything. I've just been eating my fruit, and it feels really good, which is important because you have to go to the bathroom after you have a kid. So eat your fruit. Yeah, but that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.